Hi there and welcome, it's Jennifer. I got a lot of requests to do a product release close-up video showing the newest collection from Lawn Fawn. I'm happy to do so because this collection is wonderful. It has a lot of things. It has stamps, dies, papers, cardstocks, inks, and more. So I'm going to give you a quick look at all of these products in this video. First up is my favorite stamp set. This is called Just For You. This is a must-have stamp set for anybody who makes anything handmade. So there are lots of images you could stamp on the back of cards, like the little scissors, and then the image that says "From the Craft Room of," and you can sign your name. There are even little card images, and you can stamp "I made this card for you" on maybe an envelope. There's other images there on the bottom left that are great for decorating envelopes. This is just an adorable set. There are also the Just For You labels that you can see here on the right. It's a smaller stamp set. A lot of these images fit in these labels, so you could stamp the labels. There are coordinating dies available. You can die cut them and attach them to anything you make by hand. So this is one of those sets that can be used for so many different things. This Just For You stamp set, definitely a favorite of mine. Another stamp set that I really like in this release is the Rooting For You set. Now, Lawn Fawn is known for doing images that are great for coloring, but this is great for stamp layering, in fact. So there are all these solid images that you stamp on top of each other, and you end up with adorable images. I like that it has "We're Rooting For You" and "I'm Rooting For You," so that you can use either option. There are also little faces that you can add to these images to make them just extra cute if you wanted to. Now, there are coordinating dies available for this set, as there are for most of the sets, and I like that Lawn Fawn includes a die for almost every image in the stamp set. Next, we have Fairy Friends. This one was hugely popular at the CHA craft show simply because it's absolutely adorable. I really look forward to stamping the little fairy and then maybe having like fairy dust coming down, little tiny sequins kind of coming down, or you could do a shaker card if you want to. I really like the sentiments on the bottom too. Just something sweet and really unique set. I haven't seen anything like this. And of course, there are coordinating dies. The Mom and Me stamp set is fun because it has a big and small version of the same animal, so it looks like a parent and a child. I also like the tree stump that you can stamp different messages inside of that heart. There are also a lot of great sentiments along the bottom, like "You give the best hugs," "I look up to you," "Thanks for sharing your wisdom." A lot of sentiments that I haven't really seen before, so I'm excited to use those. And of course, there are a lot of little images there that you can use together to create a great scene. Lawn Fawn is really good about offering that. Now, for baby cards, there is the Little Bundle stamp set. Now, there are a lot of baby stamp sets out there, but this one's fun because it's a little bit different. What I like is these two little birds that you can stamp the string between. Then you can hang the various clothing pieces on it and stamp "A Little Bundle's on the way." And then on the inside, you can stamp "And More Laundry," which I think is fun. I don't know, as a new mom and I was stressed out, I think a fun little card like that would have been something that I would have enjoyed. So this stamp set is really great for new baby cards. Another new fun set is the Loads of Fun stamp set. And I haven't seen anything like this before. This is great for a shaker card. You could stamp that washing machine and create a shaker window there and have the little pieces of clothing kind of shaking around on the inside. And then stamp, "I hope hope your birthday is loads of fun," or "We have loads of fun together." There are a lot of great samples using this stamp set over on the Lawn Fawn blog. I encourage you to check them out. I also like that they include those tiny little smiley faces that you can add to the pieces to make the images even more playful. There's also the Ready, Set, Shake stamp set. This is a smaller set with great sentiments on these, like it looks like a little label stamp. This works great with a shaker stamp set that Lawn Fawn released in the holidays. And this allows you to use it for non-holiday things. I like that it's a smaller set, so the price point is better, and it's a great way to extend what you might already have. Okay, so next is the Plan On It stamp set. There are a lot of planner sets out there, but I don't know that any are as cute as this. I like that they include everything on one set, so you don't need to buy a bunch of sets. I also like the little checklists that you can stamp there on the bottom. You can stamp the hearts and the lines, and then as you do things, you can just check them off. A lot of cute images on here, and I'm looking forward to trying to use this on cards with all those little images lined up in a background. I think that would be a lot of fun. Next up, we might have what is possibly the cutest stamp set of all time, and this is Chirp, Chirp, Chirp. So you can stamp the little guys and then stamp a bunny ear hat on him. You can put the little paintbrush in his hand so it looks like he's painting an Easter egg. Maybe have that stamped and then do watercolor on the Easter egg to make it look like he's painting it. And I think it is so clever that they have the chirpy chirp chirp message on the top there. And then you can stamp translation and do any occasion with it, which is really a great way to extend the life of a stamp set. I also really like the grass border on the bottom because you can use that with other sets also. And of course, coordinating dies available for this one too, even those tiny little images. Then for greetings, there is the Celebration Script Sayings. Lawn Fawn has had many stamp sets with different greetings in the past like this, and this covers some more holidays. What's great about these is that they are longer than a card, so you could actually stamp them diagonally across a card, like at a small angle, and it will work on there. So you can see this card is 5.5 inches wide, and the stamp sets are about 6 inches wide. So you can really use this in many different ways. For another fun and playful set, we have the Loveable Legends. I always like that Lawn Fawn thinks of such unique things. I like that Bigfoot looking image over there on the right with the little footprints that you can do with it. And you can say, have an unbelievable birthday. There's also the water on the bottom, little party hats that you can put on these guys. Again, they include everything you need in one set to create a scene on a card. Lawn Fawn has 2 more small stamp sets in this release. There is the Donut Worry stamp set. You can stamp Donut Worry on the outside with some donuts, then stamp Be Happy on the inside if you wanted to. I think it'd be fun to put maybe liquid pearls on top of that to look like frosting. A lot of ways you can kind of spice that up and create a fun, playful card. The other small set that's in here is the It's Your Birthday, Be a Little Shellfish. I think every year Lawn Fawn releases another one of these kind of birthday small sets, and this is this year's. So that's why it's called Year 6. And there are dies available. Those are sold separately, by the way. I just have them in a pocket together. Now for dies, I'm a big fan of the Scripty Dies from Lawn Fawn. They have a lot of sentiments in the Scripty font. The Friends is wonderful. It does cut the I, the dot for the I, by the way. And there's also the Scripty Mom. I like that this is like a bold font, so it's not super thin. So you can have some fun doing techniques on it, and you can use it as something really strong and bold on a card. For something a little more detailed, there is the Thank You border and the Happy Mother's Day border. Now this again is longer than a card, so you can put it at an angle if you want to. You can also cut this up if you wanted to. You could cut some of that script off leading up to it, so it's a smaller thank you. You can also cut out the word mothers, so it just says Happy Day. And by the way, there is an apostrophe for that mothers. I just didn't take it out of my die. There are also the sentiment banners. These are really practical. There's 2 here. There's the everyday sentiment banners and then the extra sentiment banners. And you can see that some of these are actually as long as a card and as the width of a card. These are great if you like to do little banner strips with the V-cut end, like I do a lot of my cards, and you don't want to take the time to get them cut just perfect. Those dies do it for you. There are also 3 sets of stitched frames in this release, circles, squares, and rectangles. You can see it cuts the frame with faux stitching in the center. Now the rectangle set, the biggest one, actually cuts a frame that's perfect for a 5.5 by 4.25 inch note card, which I think is really fun, a nice way to give a finishing touch. These are also excellent for shaker cards. So if you like to do shaker windows, these frames are perfect for that. Now you'll notice that all my pieces are kind of falling down in my storage pockets. You could put a magnetic sheet in there. I just save money by not doing that. But if you don't want them to fall down, you could put the magnetic sheet in there. I just wanted to mention that. This is another fun die from this Lawn Fawn collection. This is called Stripey Backdrop. It is the size of a 5.5 by 4.25 inch note card, so it covers the whole thing. I thought it'd be fun to do like a weaving technique with that, or some die cut inlay. There's the Meadow Borders. I really like this set because there are 2 grass borders. One is like a hill, so it's arched, and the other is straight. The straight one actually, it looks like it has taller grass blades too. A lot of details in these, and I like that they included some flowers and butterflies. So you could create a card with this alone and just a simple sentiment. Another die set that I really like is the simple stitched Hillside borders. Now I've seen stitched borders before, but not 3 in a set that are all at a different arch. So you can see one is just a small arch, then there's a medium, and then there's a high arch. And so you can create a scene with this. I like them together for maybe a graphic looking background, and it does have that faux stitching on it. I like that they have all 3 of them in one set, so you could have anything you would need for creating an arch on a card. Lawn Fawn is really good about offering dies that create little pockets and envelopes and bags and such, and this one is great. This is the Tote Bag Die. So you need to cut 2 pieces with the Tote Bag Die, and you fold along the score lines. Then on the little flaps, you put some adhesive. On one of the die cut pieces, you put adhesive in the bottom. Then you put the bottoms together, so you're just going to put one bottom on top of the other, and fold the sides up, and you quickly have a tote bag. This is a great die for creating little gift bags. So these would be great for little treats, maybe for party favors. Perfect to put a little wood-mounted stamp in to give as a gift. You know how I like to do that. You could put even a gift card in here with some tissue paper. Very easy to assemble and something that you can easily cut with your die cut machine. Now I just assembled this quickly just to do a little demonstration. If I were to make this and actually use it, I would use like a strong double-sided tape to make sure that those sides don't come undone when you give it as a gift. Okay, now on to papers. There are 2 paper collections in this release. These are the 6x6 pads. They're also available in 12x12. I just like 6x6 because I feel it's better for card making. In this one, there are large dots, small dots, stripes, and little hearts, and this is the Let's Polka in the Meadow collection. There are 40 sheets in that pack. Now the pack that I really like is this plaid pack. Look how beautiful these colors are. They're in trademark Lawn Fawn colors. Really excited to use these. They almost look stamped. They really designed these very well. I think there are a couple of each sheet in here, and I think it's 32 sheets in this. And these are white on the reverse side, just so you know. Okay, Lawn Fawn also introduced some cardstocks. I think there are 10 colors in this collection. You can buy a rainbow pack that includes one of each sheet, so you can try them out. And then they sell individual color packs too, and I think there's 10 sheets of each color in those packs. This is a nice heavyweight cardstock, and they match some of the cardstocks that they have. I think a few of the cardstocks they don't have inks to match with yet, but they'll be releasing those soon. Now, acrylic blocks. I am a big fan of Lawn Fawn acrylic blocks because they have the grips on the side, they're thick, and they have the grid lines that help you to line up your stamping. You'll see me use Lawn Fawn acrylic blocks in all of my videos. This is a great one because it's longer, so you can easily stamp a border image on a card. This brings us to the Stamp Shammy. This is probably one of the most popular products that came out at the CHA Craft Show. This is a 5x7 chamois that is wonderful for cleaning your stamps. It won't leave lint behind like many baby wipes do. You can reuse this for a long time, so there's less waste. All you need to do is run it under water, squeeze it out, and keep it hydrated. If it dries out on your desk, that's okay. You can just re-wet it, rehydrate it, and it's good to go to clean your stamps. It's super soft. All I do is mist it with my water bottle, and that kind of brings it back to life. Now, inks will stain this, but that's okay. It will clean your stamps beautifully. It also is great for wiping ink off your hands as you're working. If you've ever used a chamois on a car, this is the same kind of thing. It's great, and it really works well. It's a nice manageable size, good for stamping. Now, I like to keep mine in a container so that it doesn't touch anything on my work surface. So I keep mine in a little salt pinch. This is something that I used to use in my kitchen, and I can put it in there and close it up. It won't dry out completely in there because it kind of seals. You can put it in any little container if you wanted to, and it doesn't get stinky in there because a little air can get in. I can always just spray in there to kind of rehydrate it when I need to. This is just a great way to keep track of my chamois. But again, you can just let it dry out every time and then re-wet it when you need to. I highly recommend the Stamp Shammy. It's a great way to do quick cleaning when you're crafting. Okay, this brings us to the inks. Now, I have done a video in the past about the Lawn Fawn inks and their properties. This is a great ink. I recommend it for beginners. It stamps nice and solid, gives you great colors. Now, Lawn Fawn keeps adding more colors to the collection, and you can see they're coming up with a great collection here. I will link to the video where I talk about the specific properties of these inks. That might be helpful to you also. There are now 28 colors in their collection. 5 new ones came out with this release, and I wanted to show you those here today. First up, we have a beautiful gray called Manatee. So this compares to the hippo color they had before. It's just a lighter version. These two colors work great together. And by the way, after I show you how the new colors compare to the old colors of Lawn Fawn, I'll show how they compare to other ink brands too. Okay, so next we have Carrot, which is a bright orange, much brighter than the fake tan and the pumpkin spice that they released before. Then we have a gorgeous, gorgeous yellow color. This is a soft butter color. It's almost like a skin tone, and it is just great for soft images and backgrounds. So that's the butter there on the right, and you can see it's much lighter than the sunflower they released before. Next, we have jalapeno, which you can see is a little bit darker than the celery stick and the freshly cut grass, but not as dark as the noble fir, which they also released. I look at this as a great Kelly green. It would be good for holiday cards and also for summer grass cards. And then we have Merman. Now, Merman is my man because I'm going to be using this ink a lot. You can see how it compares to Mermaid. It's a little darker and a little bit brighter. It is like the perfect pool color. If I could pick my favorite color in the whole wide world, it would now be Merman. I'm gonna claim it right now. Okay, comparing these colors to other colors that are out on the market, here is the Carrot. Now, the Carrot you can see is a much brighter orange than any other orange ink that I have in my collection. It looks great with the yellows also. Now for the butter color, you can see this is quite different than other yellows that I have. It is a little more peachy than some of the other light yellows in my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and also compare it to my light pink peach inks here. So you can see it's a little bit softer than the Hero Art Soft Vanilla. It's just a gorgeous light color ink. Then we have the Manatee, which is a light gray ink. You can see it's a little bit different than the light grays that I've had before, and it stamps beautifully. And here is Mr. Merman. I love this ink. You can see it's a nice bright pool color. It looks great with Simon Says Stamp Scuba. And it's a little more vibrant than some of my other pool colored inks, but it isn't as dark as some others. It seems like I was missing a pool ink that was kind of an in-between pool color, like the perfect shade. This is it. Last but not least, we have the jalapeno. You can see this is a little bit brighter or more vibrant than the other greens that I have. Great for those Christmas cards, as I mentioned, or for like a green grass in the summertime. Okay, so there you have it, a look at the new Lawn Fawn collection. I hope this was helpful to you. If you are interested in these products, they're linked below in my YouTube description, or you can go to my blog, which I recommend doing up there on the top left. Just click my logo. I have some giveaways there too. In the middle are 3 videos that might be helpful to you. The first talks about the properties of the Lawn Fawn inks. The middle one is a Lawn Fawn card idea, and it would work great with a lot of the stamps here. And the last one is a video I did for scrapbook and cards today using Lawn Fawn, so be sure to check that out. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll return again soon.